If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowe's.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to a very special edition of the Dogs Podcast because we got our first dub of the 2025 season. I've never been more excited to be wrong about anything in my life. I thought this was about to be one of those games where we just get steamrolled out of the stadium in the second half, and it was going to be ugly, and we were going to be talking about benches and firings and all kinds of stuff, and here we are. We got ourselves a dub over, I would say, coming into this week, probably a lot of people's early season favorites to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. They've completely dominated their first two opponents in this season, so it's of course the Browns would win this game. You know, it's just so pumped to be here tonight. Did not think this was going to be the episode we were going to be doing. We got myself, Josh. Justin was at the game, so we got Kenny Mack here in relief from the Great White North. He talked me into putting my chain on for this episode. Yeah. We're all in, baby. Victory Sunday night. I can't wait to get into this one. So much good stuff to talk about. Before we do, though, remember to get your thoughts and intros on the show. Head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail. We got a couple voicemails to get to tonight. Brad, I'm just going to tell you right now, we can't play yours because it just sounded like we couldn't hear anything. So I'm sorry, Brad. We did get it, but we just couldn't play it. We were not going to be able to play it. But we do have a few more voicemails to get to. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. Also, if you see any of these cool Browns emojis in the chat, those are Browns. Those are YouTube members. It's 99 cents a month, I believe. So you can get some of those cool Browns emojis and stuff in there. So that's again, 99 cents. If you want to just listen to the show, you can find us on Apple and Spotify, and you can find us on any major social media platform. Just search at The Dogs Podcast. And last, if you want more Dogs content, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, access to the private Discord, fantasy football with us. Trust me, guys, a day like today, the Discord's where you want to be. It's just nonstop. It still hasn't stopped. It's just constant Browns content 24/7 in there. That's jointhedogs.com to become that official Dog Pack member. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Browns pull off the stunner 13-10 over the early season Super Bowl favorites, the Green Bay Packers. And it looked like it was going to be one of those heartbreaking losses by the Browns. It even had the token Browns finally do something on offense and the defense suddenly forgets how to play for a drive. But then instead of giving up the field goal, we blocked it. Denzel Ward comes in clutch. The Warden shuts it down, blocks the field goal. It's just it felt like it was going to be a only in Cleveland kind of loss. And here we are talking about the wins that we never get. Just somebody was looking down on us today, guys, because I'm on cloud nine, if you can't tell, talking about this game.
Man, I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for the last, 3.5, 4 minutes of that game, snooze fest. That game sucked. It was so boring. The Browns couldn't do anything. We were getting shut out. I was watching with my dad and my family down here on vacation, and I'm like, guys, I think we might lay a goose egg in this one. We're not going to score. And then Grant Delpit just turned the script around, and all of a sudden, the Packers did everything the Browns would normally do to lose a game that they've got locked up. All the Packers had to do was not screw it up. and they could win that game. It was all theirs. And in 37 seconds, we scored 10 points, tied it up, and it was just like the momentum's gone, guys. We got it. Ball game.
It was one of those things too. I was texting somebody at halftime. It was only 3-0. He texted me and said, "Brown's actually going to win today." And I said, "No." So this game was over. This game was over when they got 3 points.
That's what I said.
I said, if the Packers are smart, they will come out in the second half and go to that Waterboy offense where they will kneel it all 3 times and punt. I said, because the only way the Browns are winning this game is if the defense somehow scores. An hour later, Grant Delpit's picking them off, and we're going down and tying it up. Just unbelievable. Just call me Blake Stradamus. I should have been calling plays for the Packers today because we would have been kneeling it every single play. The offense, this is the kind of game that the Browns are going to have to win. I know, like, leading up until the comeback, people were in the Discord and the dog pack, they were talking crap about Kevin and the offense and all this stuff. And then I'm just like, guys, this is how the Browns are going to have to win football games this year. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be grinded out. It's going to be like, we suck. Oh no, we suck again. Oh, we won. Like, this is how the Browns are going to be this year, because what talent we do have on the offensive side of the ball is super young. I mean, like, our key contributors are Fannin, Sampson, Quinshaw, Judkins. I mean, if it wasn't for Flacco bringing up the offensive age, I mean, we're averaging like 16 years old on the offensive side of the ball.
Except for the line.
Yeah, in the line, you know. Yeah. So between just the age quarterback, which we can get into, and the offensive line that is just hasn't played great this year, although we did run the ball more effectively today, especially when we needed it too late. The offense is just, it's not going to be much more than what we're seeing this year. That's just the way it's going to be. But the defense will keep us in every single game. And if the offense can just not do things to hinder the defense, like, I know we had 1 turnover today, but we kind of talked about, I don't count the arm punt before the half as like a game-changing kind of turnover. Like that, if any, I mean, they immediately just need the ball after that. Like, it was an arm punt before the half. But we played essentially mistake-free football in terms of turnovers on the offensive side, and we won. We made our kicks, and we didn't turn the ball over, and we won. And just historically, since Kevin's been here, if we don't turn the ball over, or we at least tie with the other team and we make our kicks, he wins a lot of football games. So it's just, can we continue to play mistake-free on the offensive side of the ball? I guess we'll see.
I thought one of the biggest things, too, is we won the rushing battle. We held Jacobs to 30 yards. That was huge. They didn't control the game that much. I mean, they did with some chain-moving short passes, but we have to do the same thing. That's what kind of kept it to the 13-10 type game, or the 13-10 type game that it was. But Junkins was just phenomenal today. You know, averaging 5 point something a carry. It's what we needed. He's decisive. He's hitting the hole, and he's just making that offense go, because we really don't have anything else.
It started out kind of rough, I felt like, with the run game. I mean, again, Judkins was doing well for what he was able to get. I felt like the offense again, or the line, was not getting pushed. We weren't really opening much up. He was still chunking off like 3-4 yards, an attempt, but that was after some contact, and he's falling forward. I'm like, okay, he's a hard runner. And then he started making dudes miss. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's what we've been waiting for with Quinshaw Judkins, where he's looking at a guy and then all of a sudden he's the other direction. And it's like he juked that guy out of it, and then he's breaking arm tackles and he's ripping off 10 yards after contact, 20 yards. It's like, this is what we need. We have to have this.
Go ahead,
Kenny.
I said the tight ends were big too. Njoku was pissed last week. He said he was going to perform. He did perform. Harold Fannin Jr. still like short passes, but it moves the chains a bit, you know. And the only concern that I have with that, you guys know this, if only the tight ends and the running backs are getting a majority of the passes, it's what our offense is right now, and that's why it's so stagnant. We need some chunk plays.
Yeah, I want to credit Kevin, though. A lot of people will bash Kevin for abandoning the run game, and he didn't do that this week. Joe Flacco with only 36 pass attempts, and that's with being down, 10 points in the fourth quarter. And Quinshon Judkins got 18 carries. He wasn't, like you said, Josh, early. We weren't gashing him early, but he stuck with it. He just kept giving him carries, letting Quinshon kind of get into a rhythm, kind of letting the offensive line try to get their momentum going, getting a push on these guys up front on the defensive line, wearing them down. And then by the time the fourth quarter comes, guys are tired of trying to tackle a 220-pound Quinshon Judkins because they've been doing it all game, and now they're tired. And then all of a sudden, now you have a worn down, and it's fourth quarter, and it's money time, and then Quinshon Judkins starts ripping off long runs. So I thought that was a big credit to Kevin. I don't know. This has been like crap on Kevin week. I think the Browns look like a well-coached football team this year. Our penalties are way down. We're fighting. We're playing hard. We're playing, I want to say, like smart-ish. Obviously, Joe Flacco had some stupid turnover last week, but like we look better coached than the Packers today. And the Packers are supposedly the Super Bowl favorites out of the NFC. So I thought it was a great game all around for the Browns. Special teams finally showed up. Defense was obviously amazing. It's a total team win. If you didn't get the chance, go watch Kevin's locker room speech at the end. It had me ready to run through a wall. I was pumped.
Dude, I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm pumped.
So let's see. Our offense is so limited because of the lack of QB mobility, can't bootleg, roll out, or scramble for positive plays. Let's talk about the quarterback position then real quick before we go too much further. So I understand why we're not making the quarterback change, and I think if we lost today, maybe it would have been different. Maybe we would be looking at make the change. It's tough to come out and say you're going to make the change though after you win, but I understand why they're not making the change. We talked about it all offseason. We don't want to throw these guys into the gauntlet of the schedule. We've been kind of eyeing up week 7 as that chance to get one of the rookies into the softer part of the schedule. But also at this point, not just because I don't think you have anything to lose with the rookie in terms of I don't think the season's going anywhere, which maybe it is going somewhere. We should be 2-1. Maybe we are in this thing, I guess, with this defense. You have a great defense.
You have the best defense.
Yes.
I think so.
I think it's reached the point now where I think Dylan Gabriel at first, and then if depending on how he plays, Shedeur Sanders, I think one of those guys gives the Browns offense the best chance to win at this point. Joe Flacco, as much as I like the guy, he's showing his age bad this year. He is a statue. He is so immobile. He can't extend the play at all. He's a statue back there. And not only that, I think he seems a little bit gun shy. And I think he knows, like, this isn't 2023 where we've already gone through 4 starting quarterbacks and he's coming in to save the day. And basically it doesn't matter what he does. He's going to be the guy. And he's just, letting it rip. He seems a little bit gun shy to me in terms of, like, he feels that short leash. He wants to play. He wants to be the starter. He wants to finish this season out. And he knows he can't turn the ball over 2, 3, 4 times in a game or he's going to get yanked. And then once he does, he's not going back in. And I think you can kind of see that. We ran that flea flicker, and he had, I think it was Tillman wide open.
Yeah.
Didn't even look at him. Just immediately checked down to Njoku. And it just, to me, he just doesn't seem himself. Seems a little gun shy, showing his age. He's slow. I love the guy. He'll always be like, have a soft spot here in Cleveland. But to me, at this point, it's gone from what do you have to lose? The season's done. Put the rookies in, and if it can give you any kind of offensive spark, you might have something here.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's almost that liability right now on the offense because the offense looks bad overall. Like there's no, like you said, no chunk plays. We're really not creating long drives. We're going 3 and out a lot. There's no explosiveness. It just looks boring and blah. And I need to see how much of that is Joe Flacco and how much of that is just the offensive scheme and the design, because you're right. He's slow, dude. He can't do anything. I would love to see what a younger, more mobile, more athletic guy can do. We need to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head because, I mean, ultimately, if he's not going to get his pass off, I just watched these last 4 games. I think of Bo Nix, I think of Kyler Murray. some of their offense looked bad, but guess what looks really good? A mobile quarterback that gets you a first down. And we're not going to get that with Joe whatsoever. I mean, I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. Could have that been maybe Pickett? That was a recipe that we talked about that the Steelers used to do. You got to stay in 10-point games, and try and run for some first downs and just grind out wins. Could that have happened with them? Who knows? Could that happen with Dylan Gabriel? How many hits can he take? It's kind of like Kyler Murray. How many hits can he really take? But ultimately, we are suffering because the Browns are suffering because they don't have a mobile quarterback, and we're missing out on some of those first downs.
Well, mobile quarterback doesn't mean you're taking hits. It just means that you're not standing in the pocket getting hit. If you can get out and move and create a play, with your legs and create some more time, or a guy comes open, you're not getting hit. You're extending the play, and then you're making the throw. So Joe Flacco's getting pummeled in the pocket. Pummeled.
Well, and Joe Flacco's kind of bread and butter is that play action boot because he's so good at that play fake. He can't run the boot part of it.
No.
He looks like he's running with cement shoes on. I mean, it's almost staggering to see how slow he looks compared. It looks like me running with some of these DNs. They closed out, and they have closed the distance on him when he tries to run a boot in like a step. It's tough to watch. Like you said, it went from he's the safe guy who gives us the best chance to win to we might be better if we can just get a little bit of mobility out of that quarterback position, and a guy who will push the ball down the field can create some plays with his legs a little bit. Because we got to get some chunk plays. That's a big problem with this offense. It's tough to go 10, 12, 15 plays every single time you have the ball. I mean, ask the Packers. Packers dominated time of possession today, 35 minutes. They were 10 of 18 on third down today offensively, but they couldn't score because they couldn't hit. We didn't give up any chunk plays. And we all know how good the Browns defense is. It's tough to just go out there and execute for 10, 12 plays in a row against a top defense without hitting any chunk plays. So it's the same issue for the Browns so far this season. It's just there's just no chunk plays. We don't have much downfield threats in terms of speed. We don't have – it's everything right now for us is like guys are open because of play concept, scheme, that kind of thing. There's just like no game breakers on the outside for the Browns.
Yeah. You want to hit this voicemail from Josh real quick?
Yeah.
Holy shit, boys. Schmidt from deep for the win. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Oof, oof. I gotta try and keep it quiet. My wife is asleep on the couch next to me. Guys, I am about to lose my mind. Our defense won this game. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Definitely a game that could put somebody to sleep for the most part until that end. That ending was wild, but the rest of the game was like,
that's exactly how I had to celebrate. My wife was taking a nap when the kick went in, and I was like, oh, hey, yeah. And I was like jumping up and down. I can jump. But let's see here. Super chat, a QB that can run for 5 yards would be huge for us. That's basically what I think we've all been saying is just, I get why we're not making it. They have a plan. They don't want to escalate. And especially if you think your job's safe, but man, it seems like this isn't a defense you want to waste. And how nice is it? There were a couple times today where I'm watching and Miles gets a sack or pressure, but especially on the one sack, and the quarter Jordan Love tries to step up, but there's nowhere to step up, and then Miles is able to get the sack. And I'm like, in the years past, without this interior defensive line, Miles gets this pressure, and all the quarterback does is just step up and then into the open space that Miles created, and we have nothing to show for it. The interior defensive line for the Brown with Graham is just so much better this year. It's making this defense so much better. We're able to get pressure on such a more consistent basis because there aren't just huge run lanes created, but when Miles getting his pass rush, because these guys are also pressuring. Mason Graham had like a 40-some% win rate pass rush today. The league average for defensive linemen is 9. This was his third game as a professional athlete. I don't think we can talk about all the things this front office has done. This is like it has a chance to be a historic draft class for the Browns.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I like what you said about the defensive tackles, especially in this game. I mean, you take a look at Malik Collins. He had 1.5 sacks. You look at Aiden Huntington, like a guy that we didn't even draft, 0.5. Mason Graham, 0.5. Like, it's our DNs collapsing down, and these guys are cleaning up the middle, which we didn't have. And it's great to see, and that'll carry us for the year.
Yeah. Let's hit this first commercial break, and then we'll keep talking about this defense when we come back. This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, it's time to kick off the NFL season, and it's also time for you to kick off your wedding band game. Head to manlybands.com right now for their fall wedding sale. Get 30% off site-wide, plus use promo code CAMP25, CAMP25, to get an extra $25 off your order. Manly Bands has the most unique, handcrafted wedding bands for men, and they've got a huge selection, so many different styles, materials, and collections to choose from. Plus, they've got manly gifts for any situation you need, whether you're getting married and you need groomsmen gifts. They've got barware, they've got chains, bracelets, they've got gifts for retirement, and they've got your everyday stuff like lighters and coffee mugs. They've even got ear pods and some pretty cool t-shirts as well. So dive into football season this fall. Head to manlybands.com, 30% off with the fall wedding sale, and get an extra $25 off your order with promo code CAMP25. That's manlybands.com/dogs. This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fans, the team might not be doing so well, but your tailgates can still be freaking awesome with Omaha Steaks. Right now, during the Red Hot Sale event, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, at checkout. Whether it's burgers, steaks, chicken, whatever meat you decide to get from Omaha Steaks, don't forget the desserts. My favorite that I always get, that caramel apple tartlets. Everybody likes to have just a little something sweet at your cookouts, and those caramel apple tartlets are my go-to every time. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. So get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event, and for an extra $35 off, use promo code BARK at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code BARK at checkout. See site for details.
What's up? Welcome back. Thanks for being here with us. One thing I think we should talk about, because we haven't even really touched on him yet, is Andre Schmidt, the hero.
Winner, chicken dinner, man.
We've gone 20 minutes into the show and haven't even mentioned the guy who made the game-winning field goal for us, 55 yards out. First of all, let's just talk about the execution for the Browns. I can't believe we pulled that off. When he completed that pass to Njoku in the middle of the field, I thought we're going to overtime. And part of me was going to be upset, and then another part of me was like, well, we didn't turn it over. We were smart, and we just took what we got, and at least we didn't lose, because I watched us lose games by being stupid there, But the fact that we were able to complete that pass in the middle of the field, and the entire offense knew what they needed to be done in that formation for the clock kill at 2 seconds, that's a well-coached football team. A poorly coached football. Years past, the Browns would do that, and we would have got a flag for illegal formation, 10-second runoff, game goes to overtime. We would have been let flopping around on the ground. Somebody would have been celebrating a first down. Time would have ran out. We wouldn't even have had the shot. That's a well-coached football team that's able to execute that. 12 seconds, we ran a play, got into formation, clocked the ball, and then was able to run the field goal unit out there to kick the game winner. 2, it seems like maybe it's a good thing we didn't make a rash decision and cut this guy, because since week 1, which it sucks that we should be 2-1 if he makes some kicks in the first week, he's been perfect since, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't missed a kick since then.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I like the way that they just came out for whatever reason. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Whenever we miss a kick, it's like they rush out there and they rush the kick. It seemed like everything was just the way it should be for a kick. They were set up. He was set up in the middle, when that pass was in the middle and of the hash marks. And it just seemed good. Like I was confident that it was going to hit. Actually, I sent you guys a videotape. I videotaped, us all cheering, because I was like, this guy's going to hit this kick, because everything just seemed right when they went out on that field.
Yeah, and I mean, the Packers, they had the timeout left, so they tried to ice him. And you're right. I mean, he just comes out, punches it right down the middle. And I looked at my dad, and I felt like you, Kenny. I said, the way the game was going those last 3 minutes, the momentum, like, I think we're good here, actually. But the pressure on him after knowing that he missed kicks in the first week, that cost us the game. We should be 2-1. And then being here at home, this is the kick to win the game. Now, obviously, if he missed it, we wouldn't lose necessarily. We'd just go to overtime at that point. But man, I mean, right down the middle. It was 55-yarder. Like, this is not a chip shot field goal. I was hard on the kid for missing those kicks in week 1 because I was pissed off about it. Got to give him props, man. Redemption arc complete. Great job.
He looked calm. He looked calm, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how Blake says about Deshaun Watson with eyes wide open, the shoulders are up and that kind of stuff. He just looked chill, and he did it, and it's great.
I like the picture of him celebrating in the dog pound. I felt good for the kid. I did not know that just like a little bit before the season, his mom passed away. And so, like, the kid was like going through a lot, and then he comes out in his first ever NFL action after having a solid preseason, beating out a vet, and then misses 2 kicks, costs a game. Everybody in Cleveland's calling for his head. Team sticks with him. They're the people who see him every single day in practice. They see him making the kicks. They're like, no, we're going to stick with this guy. And all he's done since then is be perfect. And like you said, this was not a chip shot. This is a game winner against a team that we were, 8-point underdogs to, or somewhere in there. And we have a chance to win this game at home, to get our first win of the season. And this dude trots out there, calm, cool, collected, and bangs it through 55 yards. You got to give the guy some flowers. And it feels like it's one of those things. He almost didn't play. I was super nervous about him even having to kick this week because he had an MRI.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was really worried if it came down to a kicking situation, is how was the injury going to affect him? Apparently it wasn't. And this goes a long way into just like building some clout or whatever with the team, in terms of like, you make a couple game winners, you've been perfect for a couple games now. Nobody expects you to make every single kick. Bad kicking is an epidemic around the league. I don't know if you guys pay attention to these, but first of all, the Browns, right after we blocked the field goal, every other team in the league got field goal blocked.
There was like 3. There was 3 that I watched today when I came home. That was wild.
The Eagles won on a blocked walk-off field goal attempt. And
Jordan Davis ran it in. Crazy.
Yeah. So, like, bad kicking is all around the league, not just the Browns. And so the fact that they stuck with the guy, and seems like he's corrected some stuff, made a game winner for us. Like, maybe I'm not saying give him a Dustin Hopkins contract off one made kick, but it helps build a little bit of like credibility with the fan base and with the team. Like, okay, this guy can go out there and he can make big kicks for us. So I just want to give him a big shout out, because he's gone through a ton in the last couple of months. He got to come out here and kick a game winner for us, get us in the win column first time this season. So
now we just need the consistency with it. So that needs to carry it. Now he comes out next week and misses 2 kicks and we lose or something. It's like, dude, come on. We don't need the roller coaster. We don't need the ups and downs. Now, if we're on an upward trajectory, like you said, you're not going to make 100% of your kicks in a season. I get that. You've already got your 2 of your misses. Let's not have a ton more. Let's be consistent with it, especially on those PATs. Those are big.
Yeah.
I think that.
Oh, go ahead, Kenny.
I think the special teams did really well. The only thing is that it was like a turnover almost. 12 men on the field, like those small things. That was tough at the beginning. That was so painful. But other than that, I think we looked way better with Carter as a returner. We looked solid. Bajorquez was solid. I mean, he had 2 inside the 20. I just was feeling really good about that. And I hope that continues with the defense, because the offense has got a way to go.
Josh, we got another voicemail you want to play?
Yep, we do. This one is from Mick.
Hey, y'all, it's Mick from San Diego. I don't know if any of us were expecting that today, but I bought my dad tickets to the game. It's his first Browns game ever. Wow. And I think I need to buy tickets for him for the remaining home games, because our offense played exactly the same way. Our defense, as always, is great. I think the only reason why our defense was able to hold out so well is because our offense was able to stay on the field a little bit longer this time. But honest, I a halfway competent quarterback away from being somewhat decent. If Joe was like 10, 15 years younger, I think we'd be fine. But we just need somebody that's got some legs that can run when he's pushed out of the pocket. And yeah, yep. Very surprised, not super happy with, the win, but we won, and that's all that matters. On to next week. Go Browns. Woohoo.
He sounds like he's still bored from the first 3.5 quarters.
I'm super happy with the win, Mick. Don't worry, I'll be happy for you. I think we just had to understand what this Browns team is, what the goals are for this year, and how we're going to be able to win. We're not going to be the Detroit Lions of last year where we're putting up 40 points a game. The quarterback thing we already kind of touched on. Just go to one of these guys now. Like, this defense will keep us in games. Let's just go to it.
Like you said, it's tough to bench after a win. But Joe Flacco didn't do anything to win that game. I mean, a couple small executed plays, like you said, the pass to, it was Njoku, I think, right? At the end there to get us in the right spot for the field goal. But it's just, if the first read or, whatever, the first route does not come open, and it doesn't come open in enough, like quickly enough, we're screwed on every play, every pass play, because he can't create any extra time. He can't move around the pocket. He can't move outside the pocket. He's going to get sacked, or he's going to have to dirt it every time. You
can tell that just by our averages. Like look at Njoku, 8 yards an average. Cedric Tillman is 8.7. Fannin, 8.3. Isaiah Bond, 8. 2.5 for Jerome Ford. Like, that's telling you that he doesn't have enough time and he can't buy time. And nothing's going to change until, those averages change.
It makes you think, what would the offense be if Kenny Pickett doesn't have a hamstring injury in camp? I think it's by watching Joe Flacco play. I think Kenny Pickett would be the starting quarterback right now if he hadn't had a hamstring injury.
I think he'd be the starter. You guys know I was never a big Kenny Pickett fan, so I can't sit here and be like, yeah, it'd be so much better, because I don't really believe that. But I think it would be a little better.
I think it would be better in terms of he could move and that kind of stuff. Like, basically, he's not just stationary. Joe might be good, like, if they weren't allowed to rush the passer. But they are.
You'd have more rushing yards with Pickett just on the fact that he's mobile.
Yeah. One thing that I will say here, so I want to give, because I've been hard on Kevin here recently, but there was something, just looking even at the box score, that I got to give huge props to Kevin Stefanski, and that is Jerome Ford, 0 rushing attempts today. Thank you.
That's true.
Get him off the field. We've been calling for it for weeks. And, we're getting Judkins back up to speed and everything. And then we got all the reports today, hey, they're going to start Judkins today. It's like, no kidding. He's the starting, whatever. So we got that. Samson only had 1 or 2 carries, I think, in this game. It was all Judkins, but no Ford. And that is what we've been asking for. We don't need those negative freaking yard carries and all that crap. Judkins, man, I love how he puts that foot in the dirt and goes north.
No, only 1 touch for Dylan.
No one plans for hair loss, but through Hims, you can take the next step with confidence. Access treatments made with clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil to stop hair loss and regrow hair in 3 to 6 months. No waiting rooms, no hoops, just ingredients with a track record of results. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you. With 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/Hail Mary. That's hims.com/Hail Mary for your free online visit. hims.com/Hail Mary. Individual results may vary, based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Granger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Sampson today, which was, that kid, when he gets the ball out of the backfield, he's dynamite. He was maybe missed today.
Yeah.
It's been tough sledding for him. Like the Bengals game, it was a great first game for him. And then last week was tough. This week was kind of tough. The entire offense is just like they're stuck in mud. and we've covered that offense a bunch. It's just, I think it just has so much to do with the personnel, at least in my opinion. We're asking Kevin, some people are asking Kevin to go out there and put a good offense on the field with the quarterback that Shane Steichen couldn't win games with last year. The same Shane Steichen that has Daniel Jones looking like Joe Montana this year. So what does that say about Joe Flacco's ability? You wouldn't expect any other coach in the league to be able to put a competent offense out on the field with Joe Flacco. So, and Kevin's basically the only person who's been able to do it in the last 10 years, because before he came to Cleveland off the couch, he was basically out of the league because he couldn't play anymore. So I just feel like the people who are calling for Kevin's job because the offense isn't good, I'm like, well, be realistic. What are you asking of him? What other coach are you asking to go out and score points with a guy who, if he wasn't on our team, he wouldn't even be in the National Football League this year, most likely. So, that's where I kind of stand on that. We're operating with a hand and a leg tied behind our back at the quarterback position and trying to go out and score points.
No, and that's why I said earlier, let's get Dylan in there and just see. I need to see what the offense actually looks like, because I know that we don't have obviously the best playmakers in the league. We don't have that super explosive number one go-to guy, but we got dudes. We got some guys that can make plays if we can get the offense moving. We just have to execute the offense. I just haven't seen it much yet, but I think a lot of it is because the quarterback just can't do it.
I thought somebody said it in the chat. I think Bond broke a couple routes open, and they just haven't hit, and he just hasn't had the time in camp. You can even see with Junkins, he's a little bit of a liability in pass protection. He completely missed a blitzer up the middle, and they just need some time to acclimate to the offense.
Let's look at the schedule a little bit here for the Browns real quick as we kind of do talk about acclimating, how much time do they have to do it. Lions is a tough game. Vikings is a tough game. How'd the Steelers do today?
They won today.
Who'd they play? Played the Patriots. They won 21-14. Okay. So
Rodgers had 138 yards.
At the Steelers will be a tough game, but their defense hasn't been playing like the most expensive defense in the league. And offensively, they seem to still be limited. Our defense is going to smother the Steelers. So that'll be a close game. But you got the Lions and the Vikings just took the Bengals. Just
everybody said, don't worry, Jake Browning's okay. We'll be okay. No, you won't. No,
so you got the Lions and the Vikings, but if you can beat the Packers, you can play with both of these teams. And then I'm not going to say it softens up with the Steelers, division rival in Pittsburgh. It's not we have a great record there, but I do think that's a very winnable game. Every game I think on our schedule is now winnable if this defense can continue to play like this. But then you got the Patriots and the Jets and the Dolphins. They're Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. If you can steal another one or two of these games, if you can beat the Vikings, hopefully J.J. McCarthy's back, because I think the Vikings are a worse team with J.J. McCarthy than they are with Carson Wentz. So if you can steal one against the Vikings in London, and then you can steal one in Pittsburgh, and you can go 2-1 over your next 3 games because on the back of this defense, and as the offense, these young guys start to get a little bit more acclimated, maybe Joe Flacco can do something. Like It's like that meme where the guy's holding the stick and he's like, do something.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you got Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. That's 3 winnable games with this defense. And all of a sudden we went from thinking like with this offense, this season's done. We're already playing for next year, to all of a sudden it's like, I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, but we're making it interesting heading into the second half of the season. So I do think this defense makes this team intriguing because we'll be in every single game.
And we're getting Mike Hall back, like that should be another horse to the stable to get this team going, as long as they can keep him in 3rd and long and we can stop the run. Like that's the key to the success, because man, when they release those guys, it's unreal.
Committing to the run game will be huge. Taking the ball out of Joe Flacco's hands, not turning the ball over, not putting the defense in a bad situation on short field, controlling the clock. We didn't necessarily control the clock a little bit, but that was even less to do with the offense and more to do with the fact that the defense couldn't get off the field as well as the defense played. They were bad on 3rd down. The Packers were 10 of 18, 10 of 15 at one point on 3rd down. So the defense being on the field so much today was a little bit of like their own doing. Even though they had 10 more minutes of offense than we did, they only outgained us by 9 yards. That's another thing too about this offense. We can't score any points. Up until today, we've outgained every opponent so far. And today it was only 9 yards, and we had the ball 10 less minutes because we couldn't get out the field on 3rd down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're outgaining our opponent too because our defense is just so stifling on the other side of the ball. I like what you said about committing to the run game to help, get the ball out of Joe Flacco's hands. And even though we're advocating to get Dylan in there to get a little more movement and mobility and that stuff, we still don't want the ball in his hands 45 times a game because he's a rookie. Even if he's going to give us a little bit better chance to move the ball and score points, he's still a rookie. There are going to be rookie mistakes. There's going to be growing pains. Him, Shador, doesn't matter. There's going to be moments where it ain't pretty. And we need to limit those moments by being able to run the ball effectively. So today was definitely a good step forward to that. I will say, before I start looking ahead at the schedule and saying maybe a winnable game, I just want to say I'm going one game at a time. Because we all know as Browns fans, as soon as we win a game, our highs are the highest of highs you've ever hied. And then the next week they kick you right in the nuts and you're right back down puking on the floor. And that's the ride. So one game at a time, but this one was, again, so boring the whole game. I was like, my gosh, we're going to get shut out at home with the Alpha Dogs. And then we came back and pulled it off, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Helmets are sick, by the way. I thought the jerseys today were sweet.
Yeah, those are solid, man. I love them. But yeah, to your point, man, like this first 5 games, I think we've said it for the last 6 months. Like we'll be lucky not to go 0-5. We stole a game, and we thought this season may be good if we could steal some, and we could have possibly been 2-1. So it's hard to say with anything. Are we going to be good against the Lions next week? They looked really good against the Bears, and then we just saw the Bears steamroll the Cowboys. So who knows, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Cowboys give up a whole bunch of yards and points to Caleb Williams, who has been, not great so far. I think what do you think is, I think if you would have told me at the beginning of the season, we come out of the first 6 games, if we were like 2-4, I'd be like, yeah, that's a win for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Backflips,
you know what I mean?
man.
Yeah. And we just stole one. I think we can, between the Lions, Vikings, and Steelers, we can steal another one of those. Obviously 2-4 doesn't look great, but it looks a lot better than when you're heading into Steelers, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, or Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. Come out of that 5-6. Hey, we're cooking now. We're cooking.
Dude,
we're on our way.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Lions tomorrow night against the Ravens. Like generally, most teams don't win after they play the Ravens because they play hard, and it'll be interesting to see how our team responds because, like you said, the defense played a majority of that game, 35 minutes, and we'll see how they respond. But they get one more day than the Lions do, so who knows?
Do you want to do the last commercial break real quick, Josh?
Yeah, let's do that. And then there's some we need to do our MVPs and Manly guys, but there's some defensive guys we need to talk about. So we'll be right back.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, AlumaGuard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
This episode is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, your shot. The NFL is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scores to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And new customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BROWNS. That's code BROWNS to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Sorry, I get all discombobulated at the end of the DraftKings commercial. So we want to talk about the defense. Obviously, I think when you think Browns defense, you think Myles Garrett, you think Denzel Ward. There's another guy on this team, rookie, that we all were like, why did we draft this guy? We should be picking all offensive players. What is going on? And all he has done is completely endeared himself to Cleveland already. Like, I want to get his jersey. And obviously I'm talking about Carson Schwarzenegger. 10 tackles, 7 solos, a sack, a tackle for loss. Should have had another sack. I think it was taken off because of a penalty.
Yep.
This kid is the real deal. I mean, this kid's playing like he's playing at like a Pro Bowl level in his third game as a rookie. It's this might be the steal of the draft. He is unbelievable.
He's so fun to watch, and everything that we read, watched, heard about him from college has translated seamlessly into the NFL. Like, just knows for the football. His instincts, that everybody talked about his instincts. The guy just knows how to get to the ball. And the fact that he went from walk-on at UCLA to like backup and just kind of a reserve role and worked his way into all unanimous, whatever it was, all American, led the nation in tackles, solo tackles, all that stuff. And my gosh, he's just doing it immediately in the NFL.
It's one of those. Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Schwarzenegger, with that guy, I thought he was going to be a beast. I was one of the boo bugs, right, when we drafted him, though. But once I got to see him, I bought his jersey August 10th around my birthday, man, and that dude signed it for me. Super awesome. I just want to brag a little bit there. But he seems to be working really well with Baker and with Delvin Bush. Those guys seem to have it figured out. I mean, maybe it's because the defensive line is so good and they're just letting those guys flow to the ball, but they seem to get it because, I mean, look at Delvin. Like Devin, he had 7 total tackles. He almost had a punch-out fumble return. He was the best graded player, I think, last week, and he was pretty damn good the week before. So, I mean, the linebackers are a real plus when they were kind of like a mystery. We didn't know what we were getting at the beginning of the year, or at least after the draft.
It's the Devin Bush has been like a bright spot for the Browns this year. Like his career is on the up again as after a guy who like was kind of not living up to the billing coming out of college. It does make a huge difference having such a good defensive line. Like you said, Kenny, it doesn't allow these blockers to get to the second level. The linebackers are able to play without guys in their face. They can just move freely. But Carson Schwarzenegger, when we drafted him, I was like, well, I wanted like Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson at that point. And we picked a linebacker, and I was at dinner, and I saw it on my phone, and I'm pretty sure I tweeted, "I hate this team." Like, I just couldn't believe. But then I got home, and they started, the Browns. I started going on and watching highlight videos of the people we were drafting, and I was like, "This is all in one game." Like, this dude like blocked a punt, kicked a field goal, threw a touchdown pass. No, I'm just joking. But like, it was like 15 highlights from one game. And I was like, holy crap, this guy's good at football. And then it just kept going. And by the time I got done watching this highlight video, I was like, okay, this guy might be the real deal. And it's just been, from the first snap of the first preseason game, this kid's been incredible. We finally took the linebacker position serious. And look how much it's paying off for this defense. Like, thank God.
No kidding, man. I mean, just like even on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, everybody is playing so well. Schlesinger, Delpit, Bush, Myles Garrett, of course, Denzel Ward, of course. Malik Collins is a freaking beast on the interior. I mean, Newsom's doing well. Hickman, I mean, Aiden Huntington made himself known today. I mean, the rotational guys, Troy Shoyinka, like, and then you got Mason. I'm just going down through the box score here, but your liabilities are guys like Miles Harden and Cam Mitchell when they're in there. But other than that, I mean, what are our weak links on defense?
Yeah, I think a lot of Browns fans need to apologize to Newsom. He's playing really well this year, and we've always been high on Newsom on this show. But he's got to go back outside and play against, on the outside, and he's playing well. He's tackling, covering, like, that's a guy I like. I'm happy that he is a Cleveland Brown. I don't know. I've never understood the forced Greg Newsom hate, but he's playing really well. And then you have guys like Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright. Yes. Like, these guys, like, they didn't fill up the stat sheet today. Alex Wright had a sack. Isaiah McGuire had a tackle. But you feel them. Like, you watch that game, and they're, you know what I mean? Like, they're in the guy's face. They're pressuring. They're taking, like, they're playing well, even though they're not filling up the box score. And it's just like that side of the ball is playing as such like a unit. And it's just, they're going to keep us in every single ball game. If the Browns could score 21 points a game, who knows? The sky's the limit for this team. All I'm asking for is 21 points a game, and we could win every single game with this defense. This is like a chance to be like if they all stay healthy, a generational defense. That's how good it is.
I even like the move of benching Mitchell after last game's debacle. I mean, they benched him. That's something they typically don't do. I mean, they promoted Dom Jones. We didn't hear from him, so he didn't screw up. I don't know how many snaps he played, but the rest of the defense was, more nails, man. They were good. So I think they made a great personnel move. Whoever made that move, whether it was the defensive coordinator, Stefanski himself, whatever, like, that was a great move.
To your point, Blake, the points scored on offense is going to dictate pretty much how this season goes as far as wins and losses, because this defense is going to hold teams low. And I'm sitting there for most of this game, especially late in the fourth quarter, going, I can't believe the Packers came in here, we beat the crap out of them, held them to 10 points, and we're going to lose by 10 points. Obviously, things turned around, but this is, like you said at the beginning of the show, this is how we're going to have to win games. It's going to be like last year. I remember every week we were saying, how many weeks until we finally score 20? And it was a while. And that might be the situation this year, too. How many weeks until we finally hit 20? I don't know.
Well, it's 13 a game this year so far, so
yeah,
it's going to be a while.
It's the offense is going to be tough. This is the only reason the Browns won is because the defense. Kevin's offense is trash. Well, newsflash, it's Kevin's defense also. He's the head coach. And so, but we need to score more as the defense can't do it all. We've been over this many times. Welcome to the show. We're playing with one hand behind our back at quarterback.
I did want to mention, because we haven't even said anything about the offense. Well, not too much about the offensive line, but DeJuan Jones went out in like the first series, knee injury, gone for the game. I haven't read anything. Have you guys seen an update on the severity or anything of that?
No, but it didn't look awesome. I thought it was kind of a cheap hit.
Yeah, for sure. But he was able to walk off with help. He didn't get carted off or anything, so that was a good sign. But it's just another knee injury. He just came off of the knee surgery. I think he had. Didn't he have surgery over the offseason?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way,
we didn't have both our tackles last year, and we didn't have both our starting tackles this game either.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, it's like I'm watching this team and this offense, and I'm like, I'm seeing the same scenario as last year, where now we're playing third string, fourth string guys at the tackles, and it's like, good Lord, man, when we have just the depth is not great on that line.
The offensive line is in tough shape because even then guys that we were depending on to be good have not played great. Right. You know, like Batonio, Teller. I hate saying Teller's name because he's like one of my favorite Cleveland Browns, but he had that chop block. That
bad chop block, yeah.
That cost us. People were giving Kevin crap for that offense. Right? I'm like, well, we tried to run the ball from the 1. We had a chop block. It put us back to the 15. What are we supposed to do in that? There's not a lot of plays for first and goal from the 15. And then when you had another negative play, all of a sudden you're second and goal from the 18. Like, there's not a lot of calls on the call sheet for that. But this offensive line is just between that. Like, we don't have great skill position guys, but like Tillman shows bright spots. Jerry Jeudy, we obviously know, shows bright spots sometimes. Like for a couple game stretch last year is what I mean. But Quinshaw Judkins is good. We think Sampson is good. We think Harold Fannin is good. So there's some, and David Njoku's good. But what is good for your offense is you need a good offensive line and you need a good quarterback. And the Browns don't have either one of those things. I don't care who you are as a coach. You're not going to have a good offense if you have a bad offensive line and a bad quarterback. That's a recipe for disaster.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when your number one receiver catches one pass for 16, 17 yards?
17 yards, yeah.
I mean, I know when we talked about the Packers defense is very good. It's one of the best defenses in the league along with the Browns. But it's not like a one-off for Jerry Jeudy. This is starting to become a thing where he's not affecting the game, and that's worrisome.
Tough to affect the game when you don't have a good quarterback.
True, I understand that.
Slightly quarterback dependent.
I feel, but I don't know. I remember who said it maybe last week or the week before, but even Cedric Tillman looks like he might be a more reliable receiver right now than Jerry Jeudy. Like, he's at least flashing a little more.
We just need to see the consistency out of Tillman. Like, he'll make a nice catch and then he has a drop, or then he'll make a nice catch and he gets called for offensive pass interference on like a blatant offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to get some consistency out of Cedric Tillman. And, I guess that'll come with just playing a bunch of games in a row. He hasn't got to just play a bunch of games in a row his entire career so far. So not only like does the offense need to get the offensive line is bad and the quarterback is bad, but like I mentioned earlier in the episode, the guys that we are kind of counting on in this offense, they're all young. They've only played 3 games in their professional career. They haven't reached their peak yet. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what this offense could be 6 weeks from now? Who knows? It could fall off a cliff and be way worse. It can't fall off a cliff. It could fall off like the little hill it's on right now. But, you know what I mean? But it could continue to get better as, Fannin and Judkins and Sampson and these young guys that we think are pretty good that we hit on in the draft continue to develop and continue to get reps in the games. They've only played 3 games. All these guys are super young, super raw. So I do think the offense can get better, but there's clearly a low ceiling on it with the offensive line play and the quarterback play that we're going to get this year. That's all there is to it. That's why I'm pro just make the switch. Because what could Dylan Gabriel come in and do? He's going to turn the ball over? Well, Joe Flacco has 5 interceptions. He's not going to turn the ball over that much more. We're not going to score, enough points. We're averaging 13 points a game right now, or 10 points a game right now. You know what I mean? So like the only negative about it is if you think you're going to bring in Dylan Gabriel and he's just not ready and he's just going to, basically, you're going to set his career back because you're just going to destroy his confidence. Maybe he's going to get injured. He's just not ready for that. You don't want to put that on his plate yet. Other than that, I just go to him at this point. It can't get worse on the offensive side of the ball.
I agree with you there, for sure.
Let me see a comment here. Do you agree with not kicking field goal at the end of the half? I agree with not kicking it because there was still enough time on the clock, if I remember right, where if we miss it and Green Bay had timeouts, they were like a play away from being in field goal range. And, Andre had the MRI this week. He missed a couple kicks in week 1. It's just kind of like one of those things where we're either going to hit this bomb or it's going to be a pick and they're going to knee it out from the 10. But we're not going to give them the ball at midfield with time to run a play or two and get a field goal before the half. That's what I was kind of thinking that they were thinking.
There's only 3-0. There's no, you know what I mean, with that field position. Forget about it.
The line is so bad and the quarterback is terrible, and we don't want to talk about the receiving core. I agree with you there, Kenny. I think the receiving core is bottom tier for sure. We've mentioned why are they bottom tier? Because we traded for a quarterback that was supposed to make an average wide receiver core play better. I mean, I think we could go back and find, not just on this show, on a whole bunch of podcasts, talk about Deshaun doesn't need to have 4 number 1 wide receivers. He led the league in passing with nobodies in Houston. Well, that didn't work out. So now you're stuck with looking for a quarterback and you got below average wide receivers on your team because the guy who was supposed to elevate them did not. What else? I saw another one on here. I wish we had a number 2 running back to help QJ. I do think, let's get Rocket Sanders
active
involved in, what do you need Jerome Ford? Everything Jerome Ford can do, Dylan Sampson can do. And Dylan Sampson's better. Every time Jerome Ford touches the ball, it should have been Dylan Sampson. Because Dylan's not necessarily like that between the guards, between the tackles, short yardage runner. And like he said, you don't want to kill Quinshon Judkins. Get Sanders active. Let him be kind of like that change-up guy with Quinshon that can also be the bruiser, and then Dylan Sampson can be your pass-catching back and your change-of-pace back and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's electric out of the backfield, man. It's great.
But, all right, well, do we want to do our manliest bands player of the game here? We each get to pick one. Josh, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So we haven't even mentioned him that much today, but it's got to be, for me, it was Grant Delpit. Because, right behind Swessinger, nine tackles, 6 solo. He had a TFL pass breakup and the interception that was, he took it back. I forget what yard line he got it back to, but he set us up right there on the goal line where we were able to punch it in. And, without that play, Green Bay probably just runs, moves the ball down the field, runs the clock down, and, we're sitting at 0-3. So, Grant Delpit, big time game.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, I'm going to go for my guy from the Buckeyes, Quinshon Judkins, man. 18 carries, 18 of the 19 carries for 94 yards, 5.2 average, and 1 touchdown. And he missed a full game this year, and he had no preseason. So thank God for that guy, because we only had another 142 yards, actually 125 yards passing overall. So we needed that 94 yards. We needed that touchdown. Thank you, Quinshon, for helping us from this win, buddy.
Hoo-hoo.
OH.
He's only going to get better, too. Like, the run game's going to get better. He would have helped a lot in week 1. It sure would have been nice for the Browns to have that figured out. My manliest performer of the game, we already talked about him at length. Carson Schwessinger, 10 tackles, 7 solos, a sack, and a tackle for a loss, and just all around playing at a Pro Bowl level 3 games into his career. It's kind of crazy to see. It's awesome to see. If I do get a Browns jersey anytime soon, it's probably going to be a Schwessinger jersey. So he's my manliest bands performer of the game. Let me see. Anything else in the chat? I think they need forward for pass blocking still, and Sampson is a better change of pace than Sanders. I'm not saying to use Sanders as the change of pace back. I'm saying to use him kind of like they used to use Kareem Hunt, where Quinshon Judkins is your starter, but like maybe on the 3rd or 4th drive, Sanders comes in and he gets, like, this is his drive, or at least like the first 4 or 5 plays, because we don't want to kill Quinshon Judkins. This is only his 3rd game. He had 18 carries. This offense is so inept. He's only going to keep getting more and more carries. We don't want to give this guy 25, 30 carries every single game his rookie year. So I just think you treat it like that Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb kind of deal, where Quinshon's obviously your guy. He's going to get the bulk of the carries, but every once in a while you bring in Sanders to kind of be the feature back on that drive. And then you still use Dylan Sampson as your change of pace back, even when Sanders is in the game. And you can give Quinshon Judkins a spell. That's kind of like, that's how I would envision them using him. Because right now we have like one short goal line back.
They used to do it with Dearness Johnson. Like they would sprinkle him in with those two guys, man. And that was a great threesome of running backs.
So, all right. Well, anything else you guys want to get to before we wrap this thing up?
No, man, we got the win. Hell yeah, man. Woo.
I know. Well, we appreciate you guys being here on a Victory Sunday night, an unlikely Victory Sunday night. It feels so good. I'm going to be going to bed happier. Just like the world has been lifted off my shoulders. I can just watch Sunday Night Football, relax.
Just chill. Yeah, man.
I'm actually looking forward to Brown's social media this week. It's a fun one to see if we can stack some wins. Obviously, a lot of work to do on the offensive side of the ball, but it's always easier to correct things after a win. So I couldn't be more excited, and I am actually looking forward to the Brown season again. So we'll see how long that lasts. It's going to last at least 6 more days. So
there you go, buddy.
We appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you guys later this week when we preview the Lions game.
Yeah, enjoy your Victory Monday, baby. Let's go. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Browns fans, if you're like me, the stresses in life only increase the older you get. Your family, your job, your bank account, just a few things that drive the cycle of stress every day. And if you have people constantly depending on you, it can put a heavy weight on your mental health. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Why does no one appreciate everything I'm trying to do for them? If these thoughts have ever darkened your day, 1, you're not alone, and 2, I highly recommend talking to someone, and that's where BetterHelp could be the right resource for you. Head to BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs, DAWGS for 10% off your first month of talk therapy. Just fill out a simple questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with the best therapist for your needs. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. BetterHelp is 100% online. You can talk with your therapist on the phone, via face chat, or even through text message. Your therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. So what are you waiting for? Take the first step to making positive improvements in your life. Head to BetterHelp.com/dogs now for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs for 10% off your first month.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.